So what we're going to do first is make sure that the hole is just going this way. So I'm going to turn the peg until the hole faces this direction. All right, now what I'm going to do is feed the string right through. All right, cool. So now what I want to do is kind of pull the excess tight. All right. Now I don't want to leave it this way. If I start winding the string when this part of the string is tight, it's not going to have any room to coil around the post here. So what we want to do is create some slack. So what I'm going to do is use my first finger in my right hand, push down right on the guide, and then grab the string here with these fingers and pull up till I get maybe about 4 to 5 inches of slack over here. This is going to give me enough string length to wind around the peg a couple times. All right. So now that that's tight, I can go ahead and tie this down. Now when I tie this down, I want to turn it so that the string coils counterclockwise. Okay. I want it to be on the inside of the peg when I turn it. Usually you're going to turn this to the left this way. All right, now you can see that this part of the string is going to be on the right side of the post. All right, so we can go ahead and tie it down. Tie it down to when you get halfway around. Okay, at this point, you want to take the time to make sure that the string here is going to go underneath the other string and that when it coils down. Okay, if you don't check that, it might coil up and you'll run out of post space pretty quickly. So you just push it down here and make sure this string goes over top of the other one. Now I can keep winding it and it should coil down. And again, when you get around again, make sure you push this down so that it coils underneath the other string. Then you can go ahead and keep turning until you get the string pretty tense. All right, and you want to try and keep that tension there as you go. But once you get to a certain point, you can pretty much let go and it'll be tense enough to kind of hold on its own. You don't need to make sure it's in tune right now, but just kind of tighten it down so that you get a good basic tone out of it. Now what I'm going to do is take my wire cutters, or my string cutters here, and clip it pretty much right to the top of the post. These strings can be pretty sharp, and you don't want to leave much excess, otherwise it'll poke you. So I usually clip them right to the end there. All right. So that's all we have to do that type of knot. The next string we're going to do, I'm going to show you a much more, I guess you could say, elaborate type knot, but it's going to help it to stay in tune and keep it from slipping. So now we're going to move to the A string. And pretty much do everything the same way. The new technique we're going to do is going to take place when we tie it down to the post. So I'm going to uncoil this one, get to the back of my guitar here, go to the next hole, feed it through. All right. So, and push it through, and again, gently pull it through like this. All right, good. So now, again, I'm making sure it's snug here and running it up this way. Good. All right, let me zoom back in. Okay, cool. So we'll do the same thing here. Now, this is the different type of knot that we're going to do. Instead of making the hole face this way, I'm going to make it face this way, left and right. So go ahead and turn the post so that the hole faces this way. Now when I feed my string through, I'm going to come in from the inside and go in this way. Okay? So I feed it through. Get it? Okay, cool. So now I feed it through and pull down the slack pretty much all the way. All right? So now, again, what I want to do before I start tying this down is in my right hand, push it down on the nut there and get your other fingers underneath and pull some tension up there, okay? Now, here's what we're going to do to make this not happen. With this extra string length here, I'm going to turn this around clockwise and bring the string underneath the old string. Okay, so again, it's just hanging out pretty much this way. I'm going to come around clockwise and go underneath the string and use my fingers here to grab it and pull it tight. Now when we get to this point, I'm going to want to pull it pretty snug, all right, so that it kinks and stays that way. Okay, now that it's snug, what we're going to do is go on top of the old string and around. Okay, again, if I'm at this point, I'm going to bring the string up, on top, and around. All right, this is going to make the string nice and snug, and you're going to kink it so that it stays that way. Now, if you look at what we just did, this string is going to kind of, once we tighten this down, it's going to lock the string we just turned around in place, so it'll keep it from slipping. Now, at this point, we can go ahead and get our, let me zoom back out for you just a little bit. So we're going to get our peg winder and tighten it down. Again, I'm going to make sure that I keep my tension tight right here, and also double check your string here that it goes underneath your other one. Okay, cool. And again, just tighten it down enough so that you get a basic amount of tension there. Okay, good. So then we could go ahead and clip the string, and you're pretty good to go. So that's the technique we're going to use on that string. We're going to do all the other strings the exact same way. So I'm going to check in with you after we get all these other 4 strings on there, and then we'll talk about how to get the strings set in place and keep them from slipping. All right, so go ahead and do the same technique on each string. Use whatever knot you're comfortable with. I prefer the one we just did because, again, it helps it from slipping. But the first one we did is usually a little bit easier and will definitely, be good enough to keep you rocking out. So go ahead and change your strings. We'll be back once we get them all on there to tune it up. All right, we'll see you soon.